So again, we are close, same spot where we passed Nakajima, same approach, but, well... Welcome to Barcelona for round 10 of our Formula 1 1991 season in Automobilista 2, where we try to bring some glory to the name of Minardi and Pierluigi Martini. We are getting close to the end of the season, and this here is already the final European round, and the first time Formula 1 raced at this circuit ever after Barcelona took over the Spanish Grand Prix from Jerez. The actual race here was won by Nigel Mansell, who pulled off an iconic move on Ayrton Senna, who only finished this race 5th. Our guy Martini was taken out by his teammate Gianni Morbidelli late in the race after Morbidelli himself came together with a Jordan and spun into Martini. The target this race is therefore stay clear of these two and finish in the top 10 to turn our fortunes around again, as the last races weren't really all that successful for us. There is one upside to this race, as again, like in Imola, where we ultimately finished 4th, we're starting on a wet track from earlier rain, but that should become a dry track quite quickly since no new rain is expected to fall during the race. That is it with the good news though, as we are missing Martini on the first page of the starting grid after 4 very decent starting positions lately. He only qualified 19th for this one. So there is a tough job ahead, but that means we should see a lot of action on track as we're about to start the Spanish Grand Prix 1991. And here we are, all the way back in P19 on the starting grid. Lights are green and off we go for the Spanish Grand Prix 1991, and it's a very poor start. I feel like the inside is a bit better to start there somehow. We drop down to 22nd immediately, but they're all cluttering there on the inside for turn 1, so there is a lot of space on the outside, which I take. And that moves us back into P19, 18 even, so after a very poor start off the line, we have even gained 1 position after turn 1. Now this very long right hand, oh, we're back in 19th as Lehto slips through. There is a LaRousse, the LaRousse of Eric Bernard actually, trying to get ahead of us again. But the outside line here working again really great, and there still is Lehto, who this battle has been carrying on for over 3-4 corners now. But this hairpin is where it all ends, and we're finally up to P18. Oh, Lehto loses a big time as Bernard is now directly behind us. And now to the bit that is actually different compared to this track nowadays. You have this quick right-hander here, but then there is a quick right-left flick, which is not all that quick in these rainy conditions. But as I said, this will change quite quickly because there is no new rain falling. I think in Imola it was 5-6 laps until everyone went for the slicks, and I don't expect this to take any longer here, as we almost run into the back of Ivan Capelli, because some guys are taking it very slow here through the final sector. And now, again, 2 high-speed corners that lead us back on to the start-finish straight, and we get a terrific exit out of that one. And a fantastic run on Capelli. Martin Brundle is there. And the 2 Ligiers of Boutsen and Comas. Oh, but Capelli late on the brakes around the outside. We make it past 2 of the 4 cars. We almost get boxed in, but Comas then decides to open the inside line. We say thank you very much, and we have gained a lot of positions. Up to P14 now, after 1 and a bit laps. So we've really turned our fortunes around after that very poor getaway. And we're jumping ahead now, lap 3, and we've been gaining on Emanuele Pirro ahead of us as well in the Dallara. You can already see the spray is pretty much gone. The track is still pretty shiny with all of that water. And oh, there is Capelli, he's back again, and oh, that is a very awkward situation. I think our wheels kind of tangled, which drew both of us almost off the track. A Tyrrell slipped through. I think it was a Tyrrell. Behind us is a Brabham. This is Brundle, who is taking a look. But Paul backs out of that move. Oh, we have lost a lot of time there after that small tangle with Capelli. Luckily, no damage for either of us. So again, we focus on the job ahead as we're about to enter lap 4. And now what you're really able to see here is that the first sector is pretty much our strong suit. We gained a lot on those two ahead who are battling, so that helps, of course. As the Tyrrell of, I think that is, yes, the Tyrrell Nakajima. No, it's Modena, sorry. Tries to make it past the Dallara of Pirro, which he now does. We try and follow him through, which we don't manage, but a very, very good move there by the Tyrrell. Beautifully executed. And this here is the part of the track we're really struggling, and you can see there is also a lot of dirt, mud, pebbles on track, because apparently earlier some cars struggled to keep it on track there. And again, Capelli having a look down our inside. He does not manage to get through. And then from here is again where we're gaining on the cars ahead. But on some parts you can now realize that the track is drying out quite quickly, and that has led to a lot of cars ahead, including Emanuele Pirro, making it into the pits. I am a bit worried that I'm a lap late now, so I will immediately respond to that at the end of this lap. And yeah, you can really see it here. There definitely is a dry line. But in the middle sector, this is where still is a lot of water. Oh dear, and now I fall off the road. At that moment I thought, oh no, maybe there is still too much rain, but actually, look at the temperatures of my left-hand tires. I think it was just overheating, understeer into the corner, and therefore I went off track. So we lost around 4 seconds by doing that. And at the end of lap 5, this is me now coming into the pit lane. And this is going to be interesting because I think I've lost a lot of time, of course, by driving into the gravel trap, but also by staying out 1 lap longer, because if the slicks are really the correct tire choice right now, I will have lost even more time. And you can already see that down to P90 in the top left. Wets are going off, slicks are going on, 20th, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Second to last. Now the good news is there still are cars that are still yet to pit, so we will gain a couple of positions again. But we definitely lost compared to a hell of a pit stop. Oh, and there's a car off track. That is a Leighton house that is in the gravel trap there. And this is, again, the part of the track where there's a lot of dirt on the tarmac. And this is a replay of what happened to that Leighton house. That is Ivan Capelli. And, oh, he just loses it just behind our teammate. And we are pretty lucky because that looked like it was going to be a very unsafe rejoin. He just waited for us to get by until he made his way back onto the racetrack. But what you were definitely able to see is that still we are gaining again on the cars ahead. So we are definitely quicker than those guys. Now the next car is the Tyrrell of Satoru Nakajima. And look at that, the first sector is really, we're so much quicker than the AI here. But it's tough to overtake. I'm trying an alternate line by taking a bit of a tighter line into that right-hander here. We almost made contact, or maybe there was even brief contact. Now this is a late decision. I even locked my front left. I think there is not much of a flat spot there. Just a bit of a temperature peak that we produced by that small lockup. But that was on the edge. But we are past, and that is what counts. Afterwards, no one will ask any questions on how you did that. So now we're trying to gain on the two Ligiers. I think that is a Dallara in that group, and the Brabham of Marc Blondel, which is the next car up the road. So again, we are close, same spot where we passed Nakajima, same approach, but, well, I should have known that I was lucky once and this would not work for a second time. I think the move the lap earlier made me a bit overly confident. This time I heavily locked my tires, I even made contact with Blondel. I think there is no damage to the car, but now there definitely is a flat spot on the front left, and unfortunately that front left is getting a lot of stress around this track with a lot of fast right-handers, similarly to Estoril, where we also had to do an extra pit stop, an unplanned pit stop to change tires because the front left was dying in the late stages of that race. Well, today the temperatures are not that high, so maybe we're still able to nurse that. Oh, tire home, and there is a car off the track. That is a Dallara, and that was even a big impact into the wall rearward, so we gain a spot again without doing anything for that. The Dallaras this season really spin happy. This time it was not Emanuele Pirro, that was actually JJ Leto. And again, it is that part of the track in the middle sector where there is a lot of dirt, rubbish and mud on track. I don't know what's been going on there, but it has triggered now a chain reaction where more and more cars go off at that part. That is tricky as it is anyway, and with these difficult grip levels there now, due to all that rubbish on track, it has made that corner all the harder. And this time Marc Blondel gets a bit held up there by the two Ligiers, which have been roadblocks all day long. No matter if the track is dry or wet, they are just in the way. They are not working very well on that track here. We are back into the top 20. The first digit now is actually 1, which looks much better than P20. But yeah, still, it is not looking like a great race so far. And I don't know how much further up the road the next cars are, because we have lost a lot of time battling with those slower cars And with the mistake ahead of my pit stop and the late pit stop, so that is maybe in total 10 seconds that we lost due to some sort of error of mine. So we need to make up for that, and I'm trying to do exactly that on the long start-finish straight. This is still the strength of our car. We are quick in a straight line. We get a good run on the two Legiers. Now, this is Thierry Boutsen. We are past the Belgian. Let's go for his French teammate as well. Towards turn 1 we go. Comas is still around our outside. We leave him the space. There is also a bit of dirt on track in turns 1 and 2. But then turn 3, the long right-hander. We have the inside line. Comas backs out of that move. And we move up to P17. And now let's go as quick as we can to see if there is any chance of catching up to those guys that, well, just went off the road ahead. And yeah, again, there was a bit of a lock-up, so let's also try to nurse this front left, which isn't looking too peachy anymore. And then there is further bad news. We're getting blue flags. Lap 14. Not even halfway through this race. Riccardo Patrese wants to be led past, and I will do exactly that here now. Patrese, again, leading this race in the number 6 Williams. And this could be very exciting for the championship later on. Although the championship is the least of our concerns, as we jump ahead in time again by quite a lot actually. And look at the front left, lap 23. 10 laps to go for us as we are lap down. And yeah, he's not looking good. 1 or 2 small lockups, but as soon as you flat spot one of those tires, it will again stop at exactly that point, and it will just make things worse. There is also a lot of vibration that I can feel in the steering wheel. So I think there is no other choice than to pit again. But there are still 10 laps. We will have the freshest of all tires. Again, there was a bit of a lockup. So I will do something that I have not done in this races before and update my race targets. I aimed for a top 10 finish ahead of this race. This is definitely not going to happen now with a second pit stop. But I think there may be a chance to still finish this race where we are right now, which is P16. So this is my updated target now. Get back into P16 after the second pit stop that we are about to do right now. Again, into the pits we go. Again, I press the wrong button, pressing the pit limiter instead of the request pit stop button. Awkward pit entry. We managed to stay out of the wall there. We do not pull off a David Coulthard. Into a pit box we go. This time it's slicks going off, new set of slicks going on. There's a bit of a graphical bug I see there, because these fresh tires still have the flat spots graphically that they had before, but yeah, I can assure you that this is only a visual thing. These tires feel absolutely fantastic, and you're about to see that exactly now. Look at how fast we've been gaining on that Tyrrell. We are almost close enough to make a move. In fact, that next corner, already I make it alongside. There is no chance around the outside here, but I can just drive circles around them. I think they're all in tire management mode because they are all struggling with tire wear. But I'm the only one that pitted, and round the outside of Nakajima we go, and then, well, now who is at fault for that? I will show you a replay as I almost pull off an unsafe rejoin there as well. So here is the move. I go round the outside of Nakajima, and then the next corner is a right hand. The Nakajima is on the inside, but he's not really properly alongside. He even goes off the track there a bit. But then again, I was not fully 100% ahead, so maybe I should have given him a bit more room. But the way I see it is that Nakajima just did not have any business to stick his nose up the inside there. He should have known that there is no chance that he was keeping me behind, or actually that he'll get ahead of me. Again, yeah, more blue flags. We moved past Nakajima pretty much effortlessly that next lap. But then, my progress was pretty much dependent on how these guys, that is Andrea De Cesaris in the Jordan and the two Ferraris would get on, which have lapped us now. But I'm even faster than they are. I just easily made it past De Cesaris, or unlapped myself rather. Now we pass Marc Blondel, which is actually a car that we're battling, so up to P19 we go. We unlap from Prost. And now the next two cars are Jean Alesi and one of the Ligiers. I can't see which one of them from here. Oh, and again, there is a car going off track with Alesi, spilling more dirt onto the racing line. Now Prost makes it through as we get boxed in behind Eric Comas, it is. So up to P18. And there still is hope that we'll actually make it in 16th. Easily past Prost again. And now we will also be able to unlap from the other Ferrari of Jean Alesi. And there we are now. Now we can fully focus on catching the next two cars and still achieve our updated race target of P16. However, still getting blue flags. We're pulling away from the Ferraris though, so I think it is fine that we ignore them in this case. Because we're not actually holding them up. We've seen with these fresh tires we can go so much quicker. But no, there is another issue. Because by that point here, I've looked in my mirrors and I've seen, well, the next car behind us is actually not a Ferrari, but a Williams. So, we are about to go 2 laps down. Riccardo Patrese is back again. What a race he's having. What the second half of the season he's having. We let him by, and now, well, we've lost a lap time to get past the next 2 cars to get into P16, which is bad. But we can now follow Patrese and hope that he will lap the next 2 cars as well. And hopefully we can just follow him through. We're sticking with him, which is a good sign. Had to lift through the final corner, taking a bit too much speed at the entry. But it's still fine. We are gaining on Patrese on the straight, unsurprisingly. And we see the next 2 cars up the road as well. So, this may still be on, or even though this is our penultimate lap already. Lap 30 will be the last one for us, because Patrese is already in lap 31. And we're still following him, and, well, so much for that. Spin out, into the wall, and I had to retire from there. Too much damage to our car. I've thrown it away yet again, and I don't know if that was dirty air or anything, but there was a weird snap I got at the exit of that corner. Maybe I was also too early on the power. Well, you can't see much actually from that replay because the camera just switches at exactly the wrong moment. But into the wall, we lost our rear wing, and that has been it. Disappointing result for us. Very successful result though for Riccardo Patrese, who wins yet again. Ayrton Senna finishes second, and Gerhard Berger this time completes the podium, Mansell only in 4th, while the two Benetton complete the point scorers. But let's look how these results translate into the Drivers' Championship, and this is a very exciting one. Somehow, Riccardo Patrese is now in the lead, just 1 point ahead of his teammate Nigel Mansell, and Ayrton Senna is just 2 points behind Patrese. So what a championship this is shaping up to be with just 2 races to go. We are still in 9th, so we're still on target for our P10 finish that we aimed for at the beginning of the season. The only driver behind us that might challenge us still is Michael Schumacher, but also he would need to gain 5 points in 2 races to actually finish ahead of us. So at least this is looking very good, and in the Constructors' Championship it's also looking very good for Williams, 111 points, and I think that means that they actually are the Constructors' Champion of 1991. McLaren will not be able to catch them, and neither will Ferrari be able to catch McLaren. It is still a battle for P3 between Ferrari and Benetton. Jordan in 5th, Minardi still in 6th. The only other 2 teams that have scored 1 point are Dallara and Tyrrell. So and that has been it for the Spanish Grand Prix in our 1991 season in Automobilista 2. The next race will be the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka, and that could already decide the title in theory, just like it did in real life. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe to not miss anything, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.